What's good, friends? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to get your clients to sell for you, turning one client into 10. Because having clients be a sales engine for you instead of chasing poor fit clients and getting on a ton of sales calls where people really don't show up and they rarely work and the close rate's terrible, is a much less stressful way to run your business. And so what would make me qualified to speak to you? If you don't know who I am, I'm Colby Wechter. I have 12 years of agency experience, getting 2 agencies to multi-seven figures, and just left my agency to create a community for agency owners who are going to be able to retain clients for years and turn them into their client sales engine. I personally managed over 1,100 clients, and these are the exact tools and techniques I have used over that 12-year period to get clients to sell for me. So when someone new comes into the pipeline, the question is a lot more, where do I sign, than what is this? All right, so we've zoomed in here, and really what we're talking about is one client turning into 10. Now we're going to do that in a very organic format. These are going to be 4 different avenues in which this client can actually bring in new business. And the thing about a perfect fit client is that if you can delight them to a point where they can't shut up about you and that their wins are something someone else can see that they would want as well, you're going to attract a lot more perfect fits for you. You're not necessarily going to be finding poor fits because like minds attach to like minds, right? So if we go into the first one, we're really just talking testimonials here. Now, you may be thinking, okay, I have Google reviews and I have plenty of Google reviews, but that's not really what we're talking about. We're talking about further than that, right? But the first and most important thing is if you're going to get clients to do this for you, you need to have wins, trust, regular contact with them, and most of all, you need patience, right? One client turning into 10 doesn't happen in a month, right? So you need this one client to have plenty of wins, which means that they trust you and they keep paying regularly every single month, but you're not just collecting, you're not just doing the original work. You are actually asking them questions, you're surveying them, you're seeing what more they could want so you can continue to delight them and it never goes stale, right? But if we're talking about testimonials, we are not just talking Google reviews, okay? As a marketing agency in my history, we would get on sites like Clutch or UpCity and those sorts of things, and we probably got over $1 million in revenue just from Clutch alone with only about 30 reviews. And the reason for that is Clutch in our industry has a lot longer and more in-depth reviews, right? Someone truly reading them has been binging that information and being exposed to a lot more insights before they ever get on a call with us, right? The other thing, too, is you want to space them out. You don't want to collect a bunch of individual reviews in the same place all in one month and then have it go stale for another couple of months, right? So I highly recommend if you have a client roster of 10, 20, 50, that you're collecting 1 to 2 a week, right? And the lower the number of clients, I would say 1 per week, simply because you don't want someone on the other side who hasn't worked with you yet to look at all of these front-loaded reviews and say, oh, okay, well, they have 20 reviews, but they haven't gotten 1 in 2 years. Right? So make sure you space it out. And then I like to make it really easy, even if you know that the client would give you a review, no problem. Always offer more work. Don't offer them a discount because that discounts the service, but offer them more work. Can you give them another hour or 2 for completely free because they did this for you, right? So get it in multiple places, space them out, and then always reward the client because you're creating another level of delight when you ask them to do something extra for you. Now, the next one is what I like to call just the YouTube interview. And what we're talking about with this is you're actually getting a client onto, it can be a virtual meeting. If you meet your clients in person, all the better. Set up a studio of some kind to make it look as professional as you can. But you're really talking to someone just about the specifics about how you've gotten results for them, right? So it doesn't have to be that formal. A virtual interview over a Google Meet or Zoom is just fine. But if you can focus on the production value, say even if you're doing it on a Google Meet, you can at least get an editor or pay somebody for a single project to dress it up a little bit. Now, don't make it so flashy that it distracts from the content, but it would catch the eye of more people, right? But the most important part is that you're talking real numbers in terms of the dollars and the amount of time that this client had to spend with you to get those results, right? So the more you dive into it and connect that into your services, into what you're offering, into even the personality, you definitely want the interviewer to have a high personality so that they can make sure that it's entertaining to watch. That is going to be the most important here, right? So now you've got a couple of things out there. You've got actual testimonials from people. You've got longer form content for people to interview, and you have longer form content for people to binge. And a YouTube interview should be anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour, right? So you're really getting deeper with that client beyond what would be seen on a case study page. And then put that YouTube interview on a case study page, on your sales pages, those sorts of things. So you're getting a lot of leverage out of one interview as well per client, right? Now, the next one here is just going to be in content. And so it's 2024 as I record this. If you are not producing content for your agency, I would say that you are kind of living based on hope instead of strategy. And everyone else who is further behind you right now can get further ahead quite quickly because they're doing something and you're not. Even if they're subpar in terms of services, nobody knows unless you talk about it, right? So we're going to have your clients talk about it for you. And when we get into the content side of things, we're really looking at making sure client wins are front and center 2 times a week, okay? So we're talking screenshots of results. We're talking screenshots of communication where the client was say, this is the best I've ever seen, or we hit this number, right? Now you can always gray out or blur the name and that sort of stuff if you want to protect the client, but you want as close to real collateral as possible in terms of we do exactly what we say we do and our clients freaking love it, right? Now philosophy, this is where I would recommend 3 times a week. So that can be us versus them, our agency versus somebody else's. What we believe in terms of low stress delivery versus somebody else. It doesn't matter what the philosophy is. Just look at your company's mission, vision, and values, and then speak about that often. People want to work with people that they align with, right? And that's why you want to lean into the founder-led as well, because people also really want to work with people, and more so now than ever. That will only continue that way, right? Twitter is not nearly as high name recognition as Elon Musk, right? Virgin Airlines is not nearly as high name recognition as Richard Branson. Richard Branson has 15 million followers. Virgin Atlantic has less than 1 million. So these are really important things to keep in mind is you need to get your personality out there. And if you can connect that, for instance, in the YouTube interview where you're the founder speaking to the client who's talking about all the results that they get and how amazing you made them feel, that is the ultimate win, right? So now we've got 3 different channels where the client can actually just on the front end have all this social proof showing that you get results and that clients love to work with you. The most important one, though, the most visceral, would be the referral engine in perpetuity. And forget my spelling and writing on that. But really what we're talking about on this is we're getting clients to refer business to you. Now, everyone says I get a lot of word-of-mouth referrals and that sort of stuff. This is not the same thing. This is word-of-mouth referrals on steroids. This is a sales strategy. This is not, oh, the client liked us and then they randomly referred us to somebody else when they were waiting in line for coffee. No, this is specifically directing clients through a program, which if you need more insights on this, I highly recommend you like and subscribe to this channel because I'll have more information on how I run referral programs, but it's a little more in-depth than a 10-minute video. And so this is something just in terms of basics. Give them bonuses in perpetuity, okay? A lot of companies, a lot of agencies will say, if you refer us, we'll give you a $1,000 referral bonus. That is not that enticing, and it happens very rarely that people do that often, right? What you want is for this one client to know that they can keep collecting cash, right? So you're going to make it super enticing on the front end because they're going to get 50% of the first payment of this other person who signs on with you because they referred, right? So say you have a 10K per month product. Just by referring, just by having a conversation, the client you already have who referred them gets $5,000, right? And then I would move it down to say 20% or something like that. So in perpetuity, they're going to collect another $2,000 every single month just for one conversation. And you can really entice clients by telling them, hey, you've been with us for several months. You know how well we work. Our average client sticks around for at least 3 to 4 years. So if you're giving them 20% of a 10K deal, which is $2,000 a month, can you imagine if only that person signs, they're collecting potentially $30,000 or $40,000. They're going to be pretty well delighted, and it's going to help them pay for the program they're already paying with you. Now, if they stack that with another 2, 3, 4, 5 clients referred, all that you didn't have to work on, now they're stacking 5, 10K per month just because they referred you. So this is incredibly enticing. Now you can make different gains elsewhere. I think it is always worth it to delight your clients and speaking directly to money, or if you don't want to do money, you want to do more work, right? We will give you 20 more hours each quarter for this. You can be incredibly flexible with this, but make it enticing enough so that you're different. Don't just do 1,000 as a one time. Okay, they'll appreciate that, but they'll forget it next week. Really, what you want is someone to want to keep referring. It feels so good that they're just getting a random check every single month that they're like, this wasn't that hard. Let me go collect 10 more random checks, right? And they know that you deliver, so everybody wins. Finally, get permission to share these case studies because when it comes down to it, what I mean by permission to share case studies is let the client who comes in share the growth, the results they've seen with the client who referred them because that will give the referrer peace of mind and again, want to refer more people. Now, if someone opts out of that, that's totally fine, but this could be something as simple as a checkbox on a contract. And the more you share results, kind of cross-pollinate, if you will, with clients, the happier they will be. With that said, this is how you turn one client into 10. Now, I think if you can deliver amazing results and then you have all 4 of these running simultaneously, this could easily happen in 12 months, probably sooner if you're really, really crushing it. The one thing you don't want to do is get overly aggressive. You don't want to be in the client's inbox every single week saying, how can you refer us to more people? A, it's poor, and B, it's actually kind of lazy, right? You want to give them more value before you ask for anything in return. So every single one of these should be connected to value of some kind. Do not just ask for a favor. Clients are not supposed to just give you more, right? You need to make sure it's worth their while. So I hope this video helps. I hope that these techniques are easy to follow. And if you got value out of this, I would love if you liked the video, leave a comment. If you have any questions about it, I always like to respond to comments. And of course, please subscribe for more.